Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So dear friends, here we are, the final video of our series reviewing Sufism and Introduction by Professor William Chittick. I'm going to miss this series. In this closing chapter, we explore something that brings together everything that we have discussed over the last 4 videos. And the chapter is titled, The Paradox of the Veil. What is this paradox? If indeed God is veiled from us, yet it is precisely through the veil that he makes himself known. How can this be? God being beyond all material form, beyond time itself, will always be beyond what our eyes can see. But, when we recognize the veil for what it is, when we see it as a veil, something shifts. Though the veils remain, yet he is no longer hidden. The veil itself becomes a doorway. You see, the universe itself is a veil, and so too everything within it. And God's face is hidden behind each and every one of those veils, the universe and everything within it. If we could see through the veils, we would recognize that there is no motivating force but mercy. That no object of love but God. Because as we've learned throughout this journey, that there is nothing real but the real. Think of it this way. All the veils, that means everything in the universe, all the veils are like cups. Each cup holding and displaying God's attributes and beauty in a form that we can understand, in a form that we can perceive. A rose holds his beauty. A kind word holds his mercy. A beautiful mathematical equation holds his order and wisdom. Without these cups, without the rose, a kind word, without this, even a mathematical equation, how could we ever understand God? How could we ever taste the infinite ocean, which itself is a veil? So therefore, the paradox of the veil is simply this. These things are not God, yet God is present in all of these things. For those who truly see, for those who have that insight, the veil becomes the face itself. This interplay, this dance between the revealing and the concealing, God being the zahir, the evident, and the batin, the hidden, it infuses all of Sufi teachings. And the term for this understanding is Kashf, unveiling. The very word that sits at the heart of Sufi practice, acknowledging that veils exist. Because you cannot unveil what was never veiled in the first place. The word Kashf comes from the Quran itself, where God addresses the soul at the moment of death. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You were heedless of this. Therefore, we have removed from you your covering, and your sight today is now piercing. This covering will be lifted at death. It's then we will see clearly, our sight will be piercing. This verse shows why the quest for voluntary death, not suicide, but dying before you die, Mautu qabla mautu, echoes through all of Sufi literature. The Sufis support this quest not only with careful Quranic interpretation and also with the Hadith, die before you die. And it's not the Quran, it's not just the Quran. The Gospels also say that no one will enter the sovereignty of the heavens until he is born twice. What is this twice birth? One is this physical birth that we are born when we actually come into this world. The second is the spiritual birth, when we are reborn, when our egoic self dies and we are born again And that's when you enter the sovereignty of heaven. Let's go a bit deeper. What is a veil? A veil, of course, is a barrier. It's an obstacle. It's preventing the viewer from seeing what lies beyond the veil. Now, of course, scholars agree and that we cannot see God, that God cannot be seen with these physical eyes, the eyes of this world. Yet Sufis discovered something, that he can be seen by the unveiled heart. And this unveiling takes place, as the Quran suggests, at death of the egoic self. Therefore, when Sufis wish to achieve death and annihilation of the lower self in this life, they are wishing to achieve, they desire to achieve the vision of God here and now, and not after the death of the physical self. A Sufi, a very early Persian Sufi, Abu Ibrahim Mustamil, classified the veils into 4 types. So I really like this classification. It simplifies what the veil is. It's a beautiful classification. So the veils are 4. Number 1, this world. Number 2, the people. Number 3, Satan. And number 4, the egoic self. What a hierarchy. What a hierarchy. The first, the world. The world veils us from the next world. Everyone who finds comfort in this world has given up, has released their hold, their understanding on the other world, on eternity of the next. The next veil is people. People veil us from true obedience. What do I mean? Everyone who is busy seeking approval of others has given up on true submission to him. Third, Satan. What does Satan veil us from? Satan veils us from religion. Everyone who follows satanic whisperers has released their hold on the sacred path of religion. Finally, the biggest veil itself is the egoic self. So after you overcome the veil of the world and you see the world for what it is, you overcome the veil of the people and you don't go after pleasing people. After you even overcome your satanic whispers, they still remain the veil of the self. What does the egoic self veil us from? The self veils us from the ultimate reality. Everyone who follows the ego's whims and desires has released their grasp on the ultimate reality. As the Quran says, have you seen him who has taken his desires as his God? Anyone who follows their self's desires has made those desires their deity, as their demigods. As long as these 4 veils remain, the light of Marifah, the light of recognizing God as he deserves to be known, cannot find its way into hearts. So to truly understand this paradox, we turn to one of the earliest Sufi masters who addressed it with utmost clarity. This Sufi master is Nifari. He died years ago, thousands of years ago, 970 AD. May God bless his soul. He asked a very fundamental question. What are veils? And how do we move beyond them? The answer begins by recognizing that a veil is anything other than God himself. So therefore, we have either God, the ultimate reality, or a veil. We have either the divine face or a curtain concealing it. We have absolute reality or one of its infinite names that displays the reality. So therefore, everything that we perceive, everything that we understand, all our acts of perception are veils. And Therefore, this includes, and here it becomes a bit difficult to understand, this includes even our knowledge of God can be a veil. Even the unveilings that God bestows on seekers can be a veil. Even the revelation given to prophets can be veils. They can be nothing but veils because none of them is God in his very essence. As the great Sufi master Nifari shares, he said to me, your veil is yourself, and it is the veil of all veils. If you come out from it, you will come out from all veils. If you remain veiled by it, all veils will veil you. I personally had to read and reflect on that quote several times till I began to get it. Here's another gem that flows from that quote. He said to me, you will never come out from your veil except through my light. My light will pierce the veil, and you will see how it veils and by what it veils. So, to summarize, three insights emerge. Number one, everything is a veil, including spiritual unveiling is also a veil. Number two, the self is the greatest of all veils. Number three, and finally, only through His light, only through God's guidance can lead us out through this labyrinth of veils. So if these curtains, these veils are truly infinite and they are inescapable, how does one go beyond them? And as Nifari answered, it's through the light of guidance. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim, guide us to the straight path. It's divine guidance that allows the seeker to understand what veils are and how to work with them. Yet again, Nifari puts it beautifully. O my servant, a knowledge in which you see me is the path to me. A knowledge in which you do not see me is the captivating veil. What does this mean? When knowledge makes us see only the thing itself, suppose we just see the rose and the beauty of the rose and we stop there, or we see, the cleverness of an equation. E is equals to mc square. Oh, how clever, masterful. And we just stop there, then that knowledge is a veil. We stop at the thing and miss the creator behind it. And that's the problem with science and education today. But when that same knowledge makes us see the thing to its source, when the rose, we don't stop at its beauty, but reminds of the Al-Jamil, the most beautiful, but beauty itself. When the equation points us to Al-Hakim, the wise, himself, the knowledge becomes a path. And that is the secret. God's guidance doesn't eliminate the veils remain. Instead, it transforms the veil. It takes us from the far veil of ignorance, of not knowing and seeing only the creation, to the near veil of recognition, recognizing, returning, and seeing the Creator through the creation. True knowledge isn't really unveiling in the sense of removing the veils. Rather, it's recognition, recognizing, and seeing veils for what they truly are. And when this recognition dawns, when we finally see the veils as the veils, something extraordinary happens. The barriers, though they're still there, become transparent. The veil becomes a window. And this is perhaps the most extraordinary insight of all. We recognize the veils. They stop hiding God, and instead, they start revealing Him over and over again. My final Nifari quote. Nifari describes this moment of recognition. He said to me, once you have seen me, the unveiling and the veil become equal. He said to me, no veil remains. Then I saw all eyes gazing at his face, staring. They see him in everything through which he veils himself. And when they lower their gaze, they see him in themselves. The veil is the face. The name is the reality. The creation is the creator's self-disclosure. As the Persian poet sang, Kashf ki hasti zabani dashti, taze hastan pardeha bardashti. If only the world of existence had a tongue, so that it could lift the veil from the divine mysteries. But perhaps the final secret, the world of existence actually does have a tongue. It speaks in every language, in the rustle of the leaves, the laughter of the children, the turning of the galaxies, and in the silence between heartbeats. And what is it saying? For those who learn to listen, it's simply saying this: La ilaha illallah. There is no God but God. And with that, dear friends, our journey through Sufism comes a full circle. In this series of 5 videos, we began with the question, what is Sufism? And we learned that Sufism is not a what, but it's a how, it's a path. How do we see and live with Ihsan? Then how do we learn to see? We learned it is through zikr that our hearts begin to see. How do we remember? How do we recognize what is forgotten? It is by dying our spiritual death, death of the egoic self, by dying the death of our egoic self before we died our physical self. How do we transform this raw knowledge, information, into true presence? It's through tahqiq, realizing the real for ourselves. How do we turn our practices into true transformation? It's through transforming, it's through ihsan, by doing the beautiful. And finally, how do we transform these veils, these curtains, into doorways and windows? It's by recognizing the veils for what they truly are. Oh Allah, grant us eyes that truly see. Help us recognize your face in every veil, your voice in every sound, your beauty in every moment. Make us people of zikr, of tahqiq and ihsan. Ameen. Khuda Hafiz. Bye.